Hey everyone, how's it going? What is up? Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Now, this is the one that I got for the wife because I don't know if she likes the legendary creature on the top or what it is, but she chose this one and I got to play this one. And yeah, I could have got a double copy of this or, whatever. But I was like, I'll just get the other one. That way we can trade, between the two games, which is always nice having the other version. And these games take place on a set of islands that are highly inspired by Hawaii. Even the talking in the game is inspired by Hawaii, which makes it very interesting. And you basically your character basically moves to Alola Islands from another continent. And somehow the professor gives you your starter Pokemon, which you got 3. You got your fire, water, and grass. And I chose fire this time because in the last Pokemon game that we played, I was water because water was the strongest. And this time I chose fire, which now I'm starting to wonder if I should have went with water again because water may have been the strongest again, but I've leveled up my character to 50 something now. So, and then I have the other character that I got from the demo, which was slightly ahead, but then the experience experience share, for some reason made it like, my main one take off. And I originally couldn't control the one I got from the demo right out the gate because I had to, of course, do a couple of the trials. And I had only done, I think, one and, several of the little mini trials, which I guess they're considering the grand trials to be the ones to, it doesn't, that's the other thing that's confusing is it doesn't exactly tell you that you can control these Pokemons of this certain level. You just, and I've completed my 4th grand trial now, and for some reason on the last island you don't have a captain or whatever, so you don't really do mini trials, which is kind of weird, but whatever. And so now I'm assuming that since I have completed all the grand trials, I can control Pokemon all the way up to level 100. I don't know for sure, but I'm just guessing because I've already get to the part of the game where you get the 2 flutes, and then you're supposed to go to this place and summon the legendary Pokemon, and I got the Master Ball. And I don't know if it's just as simple as you go and play the 2 flutes and the legendary appears, and then you're like, all right, and then you just catch it. And then, the conclusion of the game folds forth because I don't want to give away too much of the story, but you need the legendary Pokemon. So it's kind of interesting. I can't wait to see how this concludes. And, going into this, I thought this was going to be like any other Pokemon I've played over the last 20 years because I've played them all. And wife is a big fan, and I just kind of, like hanging out with her, so playing Pokemon works out fine. And she was ahead of me for a good bit of this. Because she even took the time to level up and everything ridiculously high. And I just, diddle-daddled. And if I made it to, what is a grand trial, which is basically the gym leader at a level, I went for it. In my mind, if I won, I won. If I didn't, I didn't. I just level up 5 more levels and try again. And for the most part, they haven't been too hard. I mean, I know you have to fight a totem and everything, and the hardest part about the totems is they seem to either spam their healing ability, or I almost threw out a Final Fantasy term there, or they hit you with their massive attack, which even the other Pokemon can do. And there has been times where, these attacks have knocked my character down to, like 15%. And I use a hyper heal and get up to like 98% health again. And it does it and does it and does it. And, you have to either make the choice of either just going ahead and risking losing the Pokemon to take out this Pokemon, or just keep healing and hoping that the code finally be like, okay, enough of using this move, let's go to something else. And sometimes it takes sometimes it takes losing that one Pokemon, and while the other one's out, you revive the other one and heal the other one back up to full health, and then go through a second one, and then or go back to the main one before the cycle will stop, because it keeps using the same move like 20 times in a row, 30 times in a row, and it's like so the game has a tendency, I don't know if it's I don't really know if it's actually in the coding, but because that's the other thing, sometimes you get into a battle and it takes it like 30 seconds while it changes cameras to decide who should go first. It's like, come on already. Just let the one I'm fighting go first. I don't care if I go first or not. I mean, I know there's benefits of preemptive striking and all this other stuff, but just let them go. I don't care. And after 30 seconds, it chooses, and it's like, really? That's retarded. I mean, so yeah. I mean, that's a few of the problems I've experienced in it. And this thing where in the other one they had it where you could take care of your Pokemon on the side and feed it and pet it and all this other stuff to make it more like you better. And it seems like just about after every battle, your Pokemon requests you to take dirt off of it, heal it from poison and all this other stuff. Now you don't have to choose this, but it saves you from having to use like an antidote or status heal to get your Pokemon back, because you just take care of it and it doesn't cost you a thing, and it brings you closer to your Pokemon. So yeah, it's good, but it's like almost after every battle, especially when you fight in the rain. Like if you're they don't shoot water at you and you're fighting in the rain, your Pokemon wants you to take the hairdryer and dry it off, and it's like, really? After one rain battle, and then I just go right inside? You want me to, dry you off? It's like, well, whatever. So I find that kind of annoying. The story, I like. It's actually one of the better stories to the Pokemon series, so that's why I'm digging it. And like I said, I'm almost through with it. I'm almost ready to summon the legendary Pokemon in the Moon version. And I don't know if it's just as simple as, using the 2 flutes and it appears and you do a short little battle and you use the Master Ball and you catch it and it's like done and done. Of course, you could actually technically battle it and, use one of the other ones, but use the Master Ball and it's like done and done quick. You don't even have to hit it. It's like, which sometimes I don't even use the Master Ball. Sometimes I'll get it down to low on health, like if I can 1 to 2 hits left, and then just try different Pokeballs till I catch it, and then when I catch it, it's caught, and then save the Pokeball for something else. That's what I ended up doing in the last one, when I was taking on Deoxys or Deoxys or whatever that DNA looking thing was in the second thing, because that booger is hard to fight, and I just threw it at it and it was done and done. It's like, yes. And then other times I don't even bother with that. I mean, it's nice that it's set in Hawaii, and it's nice that they use the Hawaiian languages, or say cousin and all this, and aloha and all that. But at the same time, it's like, of all the places you could choose, why Hawaii? But use the based off the Japanese islands. I mean, it's already a Japanese game. They have the bowing in it. And some of the things you do to activate you have a Z move now, where you give your Pokemon a crystal, you tap the Z move, and you do it's kind of like a summons in Final Fantasy. You tap it, and your Pokemon transforms into its ultimate form, and then smashes the opponent. And that's kind of nice, but it also has a tendency of actually not doing very much. It's like when your effective moves that are, like say you got a super effective move and you use it as a Z move, somehow it ends up being not all that effective. It's like, you're thinking, wow, this is going to wipe the floor with them and take them out in one hit. And then it does like 10% damage, and you're like, wait, what? Ugh. But yeah, that's one thing I don't really particularly care for. But then again, it's been an interesting game, I have to say. I can't wait to see how it ends. And if there's an after story after you finish the main thing, if you can go back and do like 2 little small mini missions, that would be awesome. And, of course, you can go on the internet and download, free Pokemon. I think I got a Snorlax. I think I butchered that. I got that off the internet. I got my demo Pokemon from the demo. Some nuggets and some other things off the demo. So, I got myself pretty well set up. And my main character and the one from the demo were around the same level. I think my main one was like 4 levels lower, and now it's like 2-3 levels higher. So it's kind of like, But I like to have it with me in case I need to do a duel battle. I have, because the rest of my Pokemon are now in their getting close to in their 40s, while my main 2 are in the 50s. So it's kind of nice to have, 2 side-to-side ones, one fire, one water. Imagine that, fighting duel. But yeah, it's yeah. And then the rest of my party, I used to care about the moves that I put with the characters and really focused on it, but then it's kind of like, Except for my main 2, they are the 2 I worry about. And the funny thing is I got this move called Flamethrower for my fire Pokemon. And I know it's supposed to be shooting out of his belt, but it doesn't look like it's shooting out of his belt in the animation. Nope, it looks like he's coming out of somewhere else, but hey, it is what it is. And I still want to catch me a Pikachu in the game, because somehow with the new animations in the game, and the upgrades they did from previous, and do the whole full motion thing where instead of like in one of the Final Fantasies where your character stands here and the bad guy stands here, and it's your turn to attack, your character swings his sword, and then the bad guy over here reacts like, and it doesn't actually show the attacks. Well, they actually show the attacks and everything in this one, so it's definitely gotten a lot better. I don't exactly know what to call it. I used to call it FMV. Well, they don't actually, do FMV in this one, because I don't know what you actually call it. Because, technically I used to call the whole thing, FMV, because, you like, even though it ain't full motion video, because, you actually see the character attack, and it has the whole animation. And this one sort of has I don't know what they call it now. Cinematic, I guess, instead of FMV, because like Final Fantasy VII was, I want to say, is the first one that used FMV, where you actually get to watch the characters move in real time and everything, and react and have facial expressions for the first time, and it's like, yeah. Of course, then, I can't remember. I guess it was around the PlayStation area where some of the Game Boy games actually, I don't know. Anyway, it's hard to remember all that. 30 years of gaming. But yeah, it's actually really cool. The animations are awesome. I'm enjoying it. Can't wait to finish it, to see how this thing ends. Hopefully, it has a really good ending. Because I know the professor in this on the Alola Islands is working his best to create a league. What do they call that thing? The Four League, the League of Four. Anyway, they have, like in the other Pokemon, later Pokemons where they have the Elite Four that you have to fight at the end of the game. He's working on building that in this one. And I was like, really? This game doesn't have one? Man, it's like, whatever. I guess it was just called the Pokemon League. But anyway. So I can't wait to see how this ends, because I'm highly invested in this to see the ending. I'll come out with more of a full review after I finish this game. But this is just, some of the things I've experienced while playing thus far. And I don't know if it's because I'm using an old 3DS, because I have the original 3DS that came out way back when instead of the DX, and I don't know if it's because mine is so old and the processor maybe trying to take a dump. But sometimes it just, or it could be the game. It just feels so sluggish. It's like, yeah. But that thing is pretty freaking old. See, what else can I talk about? So yeah, I'm actually interested in the character development this time, because you had these characters that you started out and you're kind of like, and I was going to say that Team Skull, which is the villains of the game, were throwaway villains because they wasn't too proactive, like the Team Aqua and whatever it was in the fire one, where they basically have their beliefs and then boom, they basically screw over the world. Team Skull, up until the last little bit, I was like, they're just throwaway. They're just cause trouble and give you a little bit of a headache. And then I started realizing that none of their Pokemons, even from their high boss Pokemons, is higher than like level 30, I want to say 8. And I had to remain like 10 levels at least higher than them during that entire last little thing. And it's like, wow. And they usually only, most of them, 99% of them, threw out like one Pokemon. There was a few that did like up to 5. 5 was the max. And it's like, man, you need more of those, because this is just, and then, they throw out the same Pokemon, and if you know how to defeat that Pokemon, you can do it basically in one hit, 2 max, and it's like, so yeah, I mean, those are my complaints, is that, some of them in there are kind of like, why? But I'm sure Nintendo or the Pokemon Company, whoever, I don't know, are probably going to create a patch, and because I didn't think it was possible, but they created a patch for Recore that allowed that to load faster, and some other things. So it's like, maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, all right, and then patch a few things, and we'll all be like, oh, okay, cool, awesome. And because Nintendo, regardless of what you say about them nowadays, they do come out with free patches, and are relatively quick on some of them, on most of it. So, at least from my experience. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to play it. I'm going to finish it. I want to see how it ends. I need to get back to Dishonored 2 and finish that. see how that ending gets, because Final Fantasy is right around the corner, and I can't wait to start playing Final Fantasy 15. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave comments down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.